Alright, YouTube, we're going to talk about Tokon, what I like, what I don't like, what I want to see change. The first things I'm going to talk about are, I think, the things that most people universally agree on. I feel like that's the best place to start, and then we can kind of just dive into more personal matters. Okay, so like the first big issue that I think is universally agreed upon is the input reader and the buffer system in this game. So here's like the easiest example I could show you. If you're trying to do a DP motion in this game, in neutral, you can end in forward. As you can see, my inputs on the left, I end in forward, and it gives me, I get my dragon punch, right? Something we've been doing for like 2 decades, okay? But in this game, in block strings and a combo, if you end in forward, you get a quarter circle forward. It's insane that this is a thing. This Star-Lord combo that I have, I get quarter circle forward, which is really dumb. It's really annoying. I don't know why they did that. Look, I got guns. Why didn't I get my DP input? So everybody universally agrees this is a problem. It needs to be fixed. I can't think of a possible reason why you would have this in the game. In general, we've been doing this for 2 decades. Why reinvent the wheel now? And for a game that's supposed to be accessible. Another big offender is the down input. It's not very lenient. You don't have a lot of time to do this in a string. Especially with how small the cancel window is in this game. It's not very big. And your assists are also tied to your cancel window after a special. So if you call them too late, they just don't come out. So there's no little nuances of like changing your pressure in your strings. The other one is just like the way auto combos work in this game. You can't do crouch flight into stand light. It gives you the second hit of your auto combo. So when it comes to trying to pressure your opponent and stagger your pressure, it's already bad in this game, but it's even worse with the fact that you can't do crouch flight into stand light. You have to do this. So if you're trying to do something like, you know, stand light into like a tick throw or something, you can't do 2 to like mix up your pressure. You just gotta do 1 and then run up and throw. It's a weird rule. I don't understand. And going on from this is only being able to do 4 attacks in a string. I think this is the one people hate the most. You can only do 4 regular attacks in a string. You can't cancel until a 5th attack. You can cancel into specials, but this is just such a weird thing. You have to jump cancel if you have them airborne. If you do something like this, you have to just go into a special instead of being able to H them. Super annoying. Most people in this chat will agree, like, this makes no sense as to why it's like this. Moving on to the other one, and a lot of these things can be fixed by just adding a toggle, you know, adding like maybe an auto combo toggle to like grounded auto combos. You could just like make at least this easier to deal with, you know, let me like 4LL. The other big one is when you launch somebody with a super jump, the game always tracks them for you. Even though I'm holding back here, the game super jumps towards them. This is a problem because there's like little nuanced situations where you want to jump away from them. And the only way you can circumvent this is if you hold heavy or if you manually super jump. Why is there an arbitrary rule set to circumventing this? I don't know, but let me set a toggle. Have them on by default and then give the player the option to turn them off manually. Because there's so many times where you want to jump back for a setup or normal jump instead of super jump to get like a specific height, but you just can't. The game doesn't allow you to. I don't know why. It's just weird. Here's another one that most people agree on is air dashes. They feel too clunky because you're inactionable for 14 frames on an air dash. Hi, Future Cloud here. Apparently different characters have different air dash recovery. Point still stands. And if jump lights in this game are mids, I don't understand the huge lockout window on an air dash. So just to show you, you know, that's an overhead. This is a mid. I would understand the 14 frame lockout window on hitting a button here if this was an overhead. You know, I guess let me pick Blade. He's a better example. I would get that because they don't want crazy mix-ups. That's why there's like big crossover protection in this game. So making air dashes, at least have it store my input and don't make it a weird skill check. Because doing air dash heavy with Blade is super annoying. because how you have to time it. And if you're off, then you whiff, and then you could die and things like that. So it's just like weird little things that doesn't make the game feel snappy. I'll add this too. A lot of people are going to mention the whole PC performance thing. They already tweeted out that they're going to look into it. So like the cool thing about the beta is they can pull all this data of like different builds, GPUs, you know, CPUs and all that. They could try to pinpoint the issues that cause, you know, one-sided rollback, the delays, all those things. Maybe it's like the 10 layers of anti-cheat that they have is the problem. I don't know, but they have data to work with. So yeah, they will address the like stutteriness and just the poor performance. Hopefully. Good news, everybody. Yeah, they're saying there's gonna be a day one patch to fix a bunch of these issues. Here's the tweet. One thing I forgot to mention on like the auto super jump stuff. If you mess up an input, or you do it slightly too early where other games would give you the input, you get a tracking auto button. So here I'm trying to do, if I mess up my DP motion, like, I even mess you up. What? Look at my inputs. Hi again. The only thing I can imagine is that super tiny buffer window. Please make bigger. Thank you. I even messed up the DP, and he gave me auto JM. Thank you, video game, for doing this. The perfect example of just like the auto super jump and like the buffer input just being trash. That was perfect. I couldn't have scripted that, I promise you. So yes, I wanted to get grenade, but the game will just sometimes say, fuck you, I'm gonna give you an auto tracking button instead. And like Star-Lord has a combo where he does this, this to this, you know, and whatever. But like if the game just sometimes refuses to give me that, like what's the point of doing these combos if the game doesn't allow me to? And I would love to see that addressed. Again, just add a toggle, keep the toggle on, and make players turn it off. But if I didn't mention it earlier on this recording, there's a weird lockout window for assist, and I think I did. But the weirder part is when you do a multi-hitting move and you call them in between the multi-hitting move, and let's see if I can get this where they don't come out right there. So there's a window in multi-hitting moves where you don't get your assist call, and some unique assists have a lot of startups, so you want to call them at a specific part. And if you mess up that specific call and you hit that window, you're like a deer in the headlights. So you can clearly see by my inputs, I called my assist, nothing came out, and then I'm just kind of stuck there like, oh shit, what happened? And then you suffer because of this weird lockout window that makes no sense. This next one is a little debatable on who you ask, but I think most people would generally agree about the assist lockout window. Let me pick Magneto to give you an actual representation of what this will look like. There's a roughly 25 frame lockout window on assist calls when you block something. I feel like most people would say the lockout window is weird because like I jump, I can't call my assist, and then by the time I call my assist, he's already called his assist for free in neutral. By the way, none of his green pips are being used if he times it correctly. So like I hope they change this lockout window. The point is, when you block in this game and you can't call assist for 25 frames roughly, it just enhances zoning, as you have to get in solo dolo, and the zoner can just snipe your assists with either him or his assist, and he just keeps calling assists for free because he's calling them in the window where it's not a true block string. And if you happen to get past all that zoning because assists are invincible, you know, Magneto just tags, right? Oh, you jumped. Just kidding. I tag, I 2H you, and you die. So maybe make the window a little smaller, like 15 frames? Because you don't want to mash ignorant assists in a block string? And when they try to stagger pressure you, 25 is too much, maybe 15, maybe 20, but this could be a personal gripe. This one might be another personal one, but the cross-up protection in the game, I think it's too high. This has cross-up protection. I'm gonna hold forward, and I blocked it. Look at my inputs. I'm not letting go of forward, and the game auto blocks this for me. Right now, the way the game is structured, not many characters have high lows, and if they do, they're built in, like Star-Lord overhead, Spider-Man overhead, Wolvie, things like that, right? They're pretty slow, and when people learn their animations, they'll react to them better. So if you're gonna make high lows not that strong, maybe we can make left right better, because you have to remember, you air dash and you're not actionable for 14 frames. So left rights in most situations won't be that strong unless you figure out something really grimy. Maybe lower the cross-up protection by like a frame or two, because right now it's 3, 4, maybe 5 frames. Yeah, I think that's relatively it for me. There's some other small things, like if you miss a level 3 here, you ren and then you get grab and you miss your level 3 and you get punished. That's like a weird little thing, but maybe this is just a skill issue, you know, on my part. But yeah, these are my thoughts. You know, JL being a mid, I would like it to be a high, but I understand why it's not a high. Because, you know, mix would be insane if you have 3 assists in the back and you could like use lights to get overheads and stuff like that, especially something like Blade where you can go like this even when you're crouching. I get that, but if you're gonna do that, then you have to give us something else, right? Something else to work with. Tell me what you think. If you got other things you don't like about this game, you know, things that aren't generally agreed upon, let me know. Those are my gripes with it. I think everything else about this game is sick. I really hope they fix what everyone generally agrees upon. Some nice quality of life shit. And yeah, let's go. Tokon's sick. I like it. I'm having a good time. I won a tournament. I won the TNS event. I'll be making a video about that too, so stay tuned. All right, bye.